OpenX has been a pioneer in header bidding, for the last several years, and the beauty of header bidding is that it allows publishers to get access to our exchange for 100% of their inventory in a dynamic, flexible pricing way, as opposed to typically when we're a tag in a publisher's ad server, we get a small sliver of the publisher's inventory and at a fixed price. So publishers clearly have been enamored with header bidding over the last few years, and over time they've realized that there's value in adding multiple marketplaces inside their header. And so over time you've got this proliferation of multiple header partners that a publisher uses. And what that's resulted in is a couple of challenges that publishers are trying to address. The first of which is there's a challenge of a concern around the impact of user experience. So the more header partners that you stuff inside your header, the heavier the page becomes. There's a concern about latency for the user. The second issue is that there's actually both an operational and technical complexity that's introduced by introducing multiple partners. So the more code that you have on your page, the more likely it is that there's going to be a challenge when it interacts with each other that's going to lead to a problem for your page and for your users. And so what's happened over the last few months and few quarters is the proliferation of container solutions, which are intended to manage multiple header partners at the same time. And the reality of it is that what we've seen is that most of those container solutions have challenges in and of themselves. They actually are client-side container solutions. And what that means is that they are actually a piece of code that sits on the user's browser, and from the user's browser, they actually call all of the header partners from the user's browser. And so you still have the same concerns around latency, around page load, because all of the calls are being made from the user's browser. And so what we looked at it and said, there's got to be a better way to approach managing multiple header partners at the same time. And so that's why we developed our Meta solution, which is a server-side container solution for managing multiple header partners. And so here, the beauty of this solution is that rather than having all of the partners called from the user's page, there's a single call from the user's browser to our Meta solution. And from our Meta solution on our servers, we're making lightning quick calls to every exchange partner, every marketplace that a publisher wants to use. It reduces the impact to user experience and also reduces all the technical and operational complexity. With the client-side container solutions, again, the biggest challenges are page load and user experience. If you're making multiple calls to multiple partners from the user's browser, each one is taking up bandwidth. And think about a user on a mobile device. And if you're on a mobile device, bandwidth is scarce. And if you're calling multiple tags, multiple partners from the user's browser, that is going to make the page heavy and slow. And so that is the first concern that publishers have. The second is this code interacting with each other. You have five partners that you may be working with. There's 5 different pieces of code that are being called from the browser. That code is going to interact with itself, it's going to interact with the user's page, and it's naturally going to lead to challenges. We frankly have thought about and tested participating with other client-side container solutions as a participant. And universally we run into challenges. And it never is clean, and it never works out of the box. We just haven't had that experience. And so that operational and technical complexity is the second challenge. I'd say the third one really relates to the first and the second, which is publishers want a proven technology. And because all of these client-side container solutions are relatively new to the market, they are not established, they haven't been proven, they're not rock solid. And those are probably the 3 biggest challenges that publishers are running into with client-side container solutions that we are looking to address with Meta. We've been out in market with Meta for the last couple months, and in every conversation that we've had with the publishers, there's been massive excitement, and it's resonated very well with the market. So we're very excited to see adoption. We expect that to happen over the next couple months, and I wouldn't be surprised if the majority of our bidder clients ultimately ended up using our Meta solution. There's absolutely no reason why Meta couldn't be applied to any format. And so with mobile, we actually, as you just mentioned, we announced our bidder for mobile app this week. And with that solution, we will also be able to apply Meta. So any marketplace that a publisher wants to bring in as a header bidder partner, they'll be able to do for mobile app the same way they are for web. Video, I think, is ripe for header bidding solutions, particularly in an environment where inventory is scarce. Publishers are going to be less inclined to work with marketplaces in the traditional standard tag way. And with Bidder, the implementation is more elegant. You get access to 100% of the inventory, and on top of that, the pricing is dynamic. So I expect header bidding to be very significant in the video space in 2016, and as a result, I expect Meta to actually apply there as well.